who have been brought there by our government in cooperation with the city of Denver, outside of which Aurora is, and some influx of thousands. I read an estimated 8,000 Venezuelan immigrants into this small town, and they've taken over some 3 apartment complexes, and there are serious criminal problems. I mean, serious criminal problems. We covered this before after Chris Rufo wrote a great piece in City Journal about this about a month ago, along with Christina Buttons. It's called Chaos in Aurora. It's dated September 10th, for those of you who want to Google it. And it talks about, they write in this piece about the amount of crime that's gone up as a result. They got their hands on a confidential legal report based on witness reports that these apartments saw a string of crimes, including trespassing, assault, extortion, drug use, illegal firearm possession, human trafficking, and the sexual abuse of minors. And then there's been a localized spike in crime around the apartment complexes. So this has been in the news because Trump has raised it. It's sort of another like Springfield, or you mentioned what's happening in Pennsylvania earlier, MBD, and now here we are in Aurora, Colorado.
And Trump is raising it not just because it's consistent with his lifelong politics, but because it is polling well. People are concerned about illegal immigration at higher levels than we've seen in 20 years.
These are real life people being affected by these immigration policies that Biden and Harris have. And this is what happened because the mayor of Aurora, who's a Republican, who doesn't like Trump, he lost his bid for Congress. Trump didn't like him. They were feuding. Got out there and was like, it's a problem, but it's limited. And she brought that up in an interview with J.D. Vance. Look what happened.
So do you support Donald Trump making those claims that the Republican mayor says were grossly exaggerated?
President Trump was actually in Aurora, Colorado, talking to people on the ground. And what we're hearing, of course, Martha, is that people are terrified by what has happened with some of these Venezuelan gangs.
Senator Vance, I'm going to stop you because I know exactly what happened. Martha. I'm going to stop you. The incidents were limited to a handful of apartment conflicts.
That's incredibly obnoxious when you ask someone a question and then you stop them 10 seconds in. Is Martha Raddatz going to cry on network TV when Kamala Harris loses like she did when Hillary Clinton lost in 2016?
Apartment complexes, and the mayor said our dedicated police officers have acted on those concerns. A handful of problems.
Only, Martha, do you hear yourself? Only a handful of apartment complexes in America were taken over by Venezuelan gangs, and Donald Trump is the problem and not Kamala Harris's open border? Americans are so fed up with what's going on, and they have every right to be. And I really find this exchange, Martha, sort of interesting because you seem to be more focused with nitpicking everything that Donald Trump has said rather than acknowledging that apartment complexes in the United States of America are being taken over by violent gangs.
Okay, let's just end that with they did not invade or take over the city, as Donald Trump said. I want to move on to
just a few apartment complexes, no big deal.
A few apartment complexes that the mayor did not seem was invading the entire city.
She doesn't care about any of the crimes I just listed. And you know why she doesn't care, Charlie? You do know why. It's because Martha Raddatz, for at least the past 7 years, has lived in a house she paid $2.125 million for. It's a vintage home on a coveted block in Arlington, Virginia. Would you look at this? It's an estate. That's her home. It's a damn estate. Built in 1900. Look at this. Martha Raddatz does not have to worry about the Venezuelan gangs coming in and committing sexual assaults of minors because she's in the toniest part of one of the toniest towns in all of America with her many, many millions.